Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about right triangle trigonometry. A lot of this should be review from when you looked over this in geometry. However, we are adding 3 more trigonometric ratios. So a trig ratio is a ratio of 2 sides of a right triangle. And these include sine, cosine, and tangent, which is what you talked about in geometry. And then we're going to also add 3 more, and that is cosecant, secant, and cotangent. And the abbreviations we use for those are in the parentheses there. And so first we have to remember the 3 different types of sides that we have in a right triangle that we get these ratios from. First, we know the hypotenuse, and that is the side that is opposite of the right angle. So this is my hypotenuse. And then when we are taking these trig ratios, we're always doing it according to an angle. So here we're looking at the angle theta, and that is this symbol right here. And the side that is opposite of that angle that we're looking at is called the opposite side. And the side that is right next to the angle that we are looking at is the adjacent. And so it's really important to be able to recognize what those different sides are, because we'll be using that in our problems. So let's look at the right triangle definitions of trigonometric functions. So we're going to let theta be an acute angle in a right triangle. So theta is always going to be one of the angles other than that right angle. Sine of theta is always going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So it's going to be that ratio of whatever the opposite side's length is. Let's say it's 3 over the hypotenuse. So let's say it's 5. That would mean it would be 3 over 5. Cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent. And this is review again from geometry when you look at right triangle trigonometry. And then we have these 3 new ratios. So cosecant, secant, and cotangent, they're special in the matter of fact that they are actually the reciprocals of sine, cosine, and tangent respectively. So cosecant of theta is going to be the reciprocal of sine of theta. So what that means is I am just flipping sine of theta. So instead of being opposite over hypotenuse, this is going to be hypotenuse over opposite. Secant of theta is going to be the reciprocal of cosine of theta. So that means it's going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. And cotangent of theta is going to be the reciprocal of tangent of theta, so it's going to be adjacent over opposite. So let's make a note of that here. So we see that all of these are going to be reciprocals. And when you see that again in the bottom here, we see that the ratios in the second column are reciprocals of those in the first. So in other words, we can say that cosecant of theta is equal to 1 over sine of theta, secant of theta is equal to 1 over cosine of theta, and cotangent of theta is equal to 1 over tangent of theta.